So this weekend we're at the Rivers West Ranch in Young County, Texas. We have 8 vets here for Operation Gray Ghost, and we're just excited to be here and share this weekend with our veterans. And this morning we were in Young County, lots of birds, and so everybody just has been relaxed. It's just been a wonderful, wonderful weekend.
Man.
I thought it was feathers.
That was fun.
These wings. On your left. One coming left.
Got him.
And thanks to the Wise family, Jonathan and Katie, for hosting us. And the guys have said, we're going to do this again next year. And so what I've encouraged the veterans to do is to find another vet that's maybe needs some help or needs some time in the outdoors. And so maybe next year it'll be twice as big and they can invite a friend and host them. The military works off the buddy system, so we try to encourage that. And it's just been a wonderful weekend, and just couldn't ask for any better people, better birds, and a better place to spend some time in the outdoors. So the guys are out on the back deck shooting skeet, and it's a beautiful view. You've got the river down below, and skeet throwers are underneath the deck, and so the guys are out there just having a ball, being really competitive, giving each other a hard time. And so that's what it's all about, bringing these guys together.
Going down the Mississippi, and I'm gonna catch me a train.
Phil Bullock is one of our guests who owns Bunker Head face masks. And so Phil is going to present the guys with a face mask. He's from Dripping Springs, Texas, and we're just so glad to have him. And he's been gracious enough to come up here and share some time with the veterans and give them their own face mask.
So here's the deal. I know it seems odd that you would have to listen to instructions on how to use a face mask, right? Well, we call it a face mask. It's the Bunker Head face mask system, and the reality is what it is. It's a head concealment system. But I also you get hot out there, right? You get tired of wearing a hat. So with that, you can just take the hat off and take your head, just to give yourself a break. And then when you're ready to go back up the hunt, your face mask is right back where you left it. Still have easy access to my mouth, however I want to wear it. And again, it's complete. Whenever I'm not actively hunting, I just roll it down.
First deployment was a lot of urban scenarios, firefights, very, very frequently, almost on a daily basis. I remember we used to take bets on what time we're gonna get attacked of the day. And so the second deployment was a little bit different. I was now a squad leader, so I was responsible for 4 soldiers. That was a little tough. It's no longer just about yourself. You got these other guys that you know everything about them. You know how much money they make, their expenses, their family, any family issues, their weapons, how qualified are they to do certain jobs, who are you able to rely on for certain missions. And so I was in my truck with the lieutenant, our platoon leader, and Staff Sergeant Brown was driving, and I was sitting on the gunner seat, manning the 50 cal. I remember all of a sudden it just felt a sudden blast. You know, black gunpowder everywhere was my nose, my teeth, and yeah, it was, after a while I was just laying on the road and had my platoon medic on me. He was working, trying to check me out. He was telling me, "You're gonna be okay, man. You're gonna be okay." And I was like, "Dude, I don't feel my legs, man. I don't feel my right arm. What's going on?" So I went through about a year of physical therapy. A month later, I felt my sensation to my legs started coming back. Mobility in my hand was coming back. So I was going through physical therapy, speech pathology, learning how to speak again. And I went through a medical evaluation board a year after the injury, and it was determined that I was no longer physically fit for duty, and I was medically retired in 2008. Being told I can no longer take care of my soldiers was hard. I felt like I felt them as a leader, as a friend, as a brother. You felt like you lost your sense of worth. Like you're no longer a man. You're not physically fit anymore. You're not doing the job God created you to do. That emotion and the sense of loss of my soldiers turned into anger, turned into frustration. Took it out on my wife, my children, my family, and I pretty much isolated myself as much as I possibly could from the world. You felt lost for such a long time, and you couldn't pinpoint why it was happening, but you knew that you missed. We call it the suck, being in deployments, being in the hardships, trials with your brothers, and for whatever reason, I missed the suck so much. I miss sleeping on the floor or in a sleeping bag or on a cot in 140 plus degree weather in Iraq. I miss having radio conversations with my friends, tactical operations. I miss shooting. Gosh, I don't know. I just miss serving my country, you know. So being able to come out, hunt and dove with my brothers, you know, we didn't serve together, but we had that camaraderie, that brotherhood of being service members. That is probably the best medicine for the soul, man. You know, being able to come out, joke, same. We call it twisted sense of humor that we only get, and being able to laugh, talk trash to each other, give each other a hard time, but yet generally caring for one another, and it just felt like it was it filled a gap, a void. Before that, it was just you have a sense of loss that you don't know. It's like, did I lose my keys? Did I lose my phone? Where's my wallet? I don't know. What I feel like I'm missing something, and I felt like having the relationship with Jesus Christ was filling these things, but there's always something else missing. And being able to be out in the country, hunting birds with our brothers and other fine people that put it on, it's keeps you motivated,
Went to my unit in 29 Palms, 3rd Battalion, 7th Marines, where we geared up and got ready for the invasion in 2003. I was on a 8-hour patrol where we had done just that, gone out and done crater analysis on an IED that they had hit another patrol before us, so we went out and checked everything out, kind of get an idea of what they're making these IEDs out of, and they remote detonated an IED when I was on point. So they detonated the IED when I came past. I had shrapnel in basically from my right leg on the outside and my left leg on the inside up to my hip, and then my impact vest stopped everything in my torso. I had shrapnel, minor shrapnel to the face, my hands, severed my thumb and the nerve in my hand, but the shrapnel that hit me in the hip was going at an upward angle. It actually went in, lacerated my liver, punctured my lung, and the medevac Black Hawk got me to the battalion aid station. They further secured me, flew me to Baghdad on another Black Hawk where I had the first of my 8 surgeries. I had exploratory surgery done in Baghdad, but I am medically retired from those injuries. So being able to come out and do these hunts, I think for guys that were, well, a lot of us veterans are guys that were severely wounded, especially if you were pulled out of a combat zone or something like that. Your whole goal and your whole mission is to be with your guys, help your guys, and do whatever you can with them. Well, when you're critically wounded like that, you don't have that transition period of, okay, so we've done this great deployment, we're gonna, gear down and we're gonna transition back to stateside and we're gonna do this. You're just basically ripped away from everyone. Doing hunts and things like that, even if it's guys you don't know, you get to meet a lot of new people. I've made a lot of friends. You get time away from work, you get time away from your everyday life, and you get to meet new people, meet very great and hospitable people that really truly care about what you've done. Very interesting, very life-changing, and meet people that I definitely never would have met and become friends with.
On November 9th, 2004, we were clearing houses and we had received a lot of casualties at that point, and we'd got a lot smarter about how we were operating, but went into a house and my point man was ahead of me, and he opened a door and immediately started receiving small arms fire. As he spun around and I was covering for him and he got out of the house, before I could get out of the house, the enemy had rolled a couple grenades and they went off. And so come to find out, I had a broken arm, broken leg, and 4 broken toes. And then I had they had to fix some veins in my leg, and I had some arterial bleeding in my arm that was causing a compartment syndrome. Unfortunately, my foot, the toes are fused now. They had to pin the toes, so those joints were just obliterated by that shrapnel that went through the toes, and so those joints sort of grew together. And then I have some retained shrapnel in the foot that they couldn't get out, and so that's primarily the reason why I had to be medically retired. I'd say it took me another year after getting out to really, I think, get to a level where I felt like I was physically rehabbed as good as I could get. And then, the mental rehab was a whole nother thing. Some people that were close to me, some family, and kind of made some comments like, hey, are you okay, this and that? And they would tell me that I was doing things that I didn't even realize I was doing. So, for example, I was cooking burgers in the backyard, and a burger fell through the grill and fell in and into the charcoal. And I got so angry. My brother was standing next to me, and he told me, I don't remember this, but he told me that I just gripped the spatula and was just shaking, and I'm just staring at the barbecue grill and I'm just gripping the spatula and shaking. And he explained to me that had happened, and I said, all I know is that I wanted to take that spatula and I just wanted to beat the grill to just pieces. So it was all I could do to just stand there and do nothing for a few minutes until that subsided. So that irrational anger is one of the more common effects of PTSD, and then there's a whole laundry list of other symptoms, and I started to experience some of these, and so I started seeking out some resources on base. I started talking to my Marines about it, and like, hey, it's okay, you don't have to be a tough guy. If you need some help, here's some resources. I find that a lot of veterans suffer from what I call tough guy syndrome. They think that either A, they don't need it, don't want to deal with the mental health issues, so they just bottle it all up, or they think that there's a stigma or that's going to somehow affect their career, especially if they want to go into law enforcement. So that would be one of my things that I would say to any veterans watching, is to encourage them to not try to bottle it up, not try to be the tough guy or gal, and really seek out. There's plenty of resources, there's lots of groups that want to help, So there's no excuse to just sit in victim status by yourself, bottled up, or using, substances or alcohol to cope. There's so many different coping strategies that are lasting, long-term, and healthy. And so, that's I'll get off my soapbox for a second, but I mean, that's just, I lived it. And if I didn't have, I was lucky that I had friends and family. It's a Freedom Care Warrior Project. I mean, we're out here dove hunting. We've got this beautiful ranch. It's like a resort. I've met some veterans I didn't know. I've know some that I've known for a long time. What I found is going to these events, I've actually got a core group of veterans here in the Houston, Texas area that are now, they're like more than friends, they're like family.
I was in Japan for about 5 months. At that time, I went through a lot of problems mentally and got out medically discharged. They med boarded me. They diagnosed me with bipolar manic. It was just a bad time for me. Well, with me, since I wasn't able to do my time I wanted to be in for my own lifetime, a lot of these guys, I see them as like my older brother or my mentor, and that because they have done the things that I wasn't able to do. So I look up and look forward to these guys and look for inspiration on what they've gone through, and hunting and fishing with a whole bunch of vets, it's just back with the guys, back in the unit kind of thing. Since my diagnosis is all mental, and that a lot of people get stigmatized by it, and they don't want, that label, and I'm one of those people. I don't want to be labeled. I don't want people to be afraid of me because they think that I'm going to snap. And being out here with these vets, you don't think anybody's going to snap. You don't treat anybody differently. It's just like, hey, let's have fun. I come out here more for the camaraderie than the hunting. That's where I get my therapy from it.
Hi, my name is Jonathan Wise, and this is my wife Katie Wise, and welcome to Rivers West Ranch. We are a 2,100 acre ranch located in Eliasville, Texas, and we're about an hour and a half west of Fort Worth. We sleep up to 30 guests on property. We have weddings here, vacation rentals. We do dove hunts, all-inclusive dove hunts or just day hunts, hog hunts, turkey hunts, upland game bird hunts, and a variety of other things, family reunions, birthday parties. What makes us unique for a wedding venue is we can sleep up to 30 people, so you can bring your wedding party, your bridesmaids, your groomsmen, and come and stay for the weekend, and then bring in all of your guests for your ceremony and your reception. We can do a wedding for up to 300 people. We can accommodate large groups for weddings. And while you're here for your hunt or your vacation rental or your wedding, we also offer skeet shooting off the back deck, which has an incredible view here of the Clear Fork of the Brazos River.
This ranch has been in my family for over 20 years, and as a little girl I grew up coming out here and fishing in the river and in the ponds and hunting for arrowheads and climbing trees. Shot my first deer here, and it's just a great family place. We want it to be a place for other families to come and enjoy as well. With our vacation rentals and anyone that might be staying in the house, our house sleeps up to 30 between the house and the bunkhouse. We have 5 bedrooms total with 5 bathrooms. And we have a ping pong table and pool table, a fully stocked kitchen, and our main table seats up to 30. We've got it all here. We just need you to come and enjoy yourself. We also offer weddings. We have several different options for packages. What most people like is the all-inclusive. So you come, you stay, you have your rehearsal dinner, your wedding, your reception, all here. We have several sites. We have a beautiful site with a hand-built arbor on top of our hill. And then we have fields and river options, or even our back porch right here. We have all of the dishes and silverware and anything you might need, and we can do the decorations for you and help you plan it all. That's just one of the things that we offer here. And it's just such a beautiful place to come and enjoy and have wonderful memories made. With any of our vacation rentals or hunting or weddings, we can incorporate team building events. We can have a fun competition with skeet shooting, or we can set up a scavenger hunt throughout the ranch. It's a great opportunity to bring in people and groups that don't get to spend every day in these outdoors. And so it's a great opportunity to teach a little bit about the land and just have some great core team building.
You know, Katie and I understand that this ranch really isn't ours, that this is God's ranch that He's blessed us with to be good stewards of, and we want to make sure and use this ranch however He wants to use it, ultimately to glorify Him and further His kingdom. And that's really important to us. That's why we love doing events like the Freedom Care Warrior Project, or you know, hosting ministries, church groups, things like that. That's very important to us to be able to donate any way we can, because we know that you know, ultimately this isn't ours. We want to make sure that we're glorifying God with what He's given us.